For every time we take an action, it causes a reaction, which then ends up leading us to where we are today. What's going on? It's your boy, Fa Sho. You know how we do. Sometimes I think about it. If I gave my 20-year-old self some tips and tricks, would I actually listen to it? But before we get started, this is a fitness channel. So I gotta show you what I eat. If you guys know me by now, I used to do fast food reviews. Figured it was super unhealthy, so I eat more foods like this now. So let's see what's on the menu. Of course, we got our steak right here, you know, from them gains. And no, it's not grass-fed. I know that's very popular right now, but YouTube's not paying us, so when they do, I'll switch over. Over here, I have some hash browns, and this one did come in a bag, so it's called Simply Potatoes. And on top of it, I have some sugar-free ketchup. Over here, I have an egg for some extra fats. No, it's not pasteurized. I know that's very popular as well, but they are cage-free. And over here, I have some fruit. These are papayas. I used to not like papayas for some reason, but now I love them. And below that, I have some pineapples, my favorite. And last but not least, you guys know I've been on my dry fruit lately. I used to love a lot of candy, sour candy to be exact, but I figured that sugar is very bad for you, causes me to break out, so I switched over to dry fruit. So this one right here, I never had before, super excited to try it. It's dry plantains. So I looked at the ingredients, they're plantains, palm oil, so I know seed oil is like bad for you, so I don't know what type of palm oil is, but that's what it says, and of course some sea salt. So yeah guys, this is what I've been eating lately. Again, I don't eat fast food as much anymore, and I know there's a huge difference, so people out there that kind of want to make the change or trying to figure out what's causing them acne or whatever, try to switch over more whole foods, clean that gut, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and last but not least, to wash it down, we have some San Pellegrino sparkling water. No, sparkling natural mineral water. Huh? So my boy Fabian says there's a difference between sparkling water and mineral water, but this one says sparkling natural mineral water. So Fabian, if you're watching this, what's up with that? Oh, and guys, if you guys don't like sparkling water, because I know some of you guys don't, then don't drink it. Oh yeah. I really like the carbonation in the bubbles just because, again, it reminds me of soda, but without the fake sugar or regular sugar. If you guys like regular sodas, I like diet. Yeah, it's just delicious. I don't know. So for the steak, I tell you guys this all the time, 4 minutes on each side, comes out perfectly. However, this steak is a little thicker than normal. Oh man, I don't know about this one. Cameraman, zoom in. What did I do wrong? I did the same thing, 4 minutes on each side. So I was trying to go for medium rare, but this one looks like it's not even rare, almost medium. Still good. So today's topic is, if I could give my 20-year-old self some tips and advice, what would it be? And that's hard, right? Like, I feel like, I remember when I was 20 years old, my priorities were not straight, obviously. All I wanted to do was hang out with my friends, go out partying, drinking. I followed the education system. I knew you were supposed to go to school, right? But I wasn't taking that seriously. I was just kind of going through the motions. And the first advice I would give to myself is, don't put too much, how do you say it? Like, I put too much, I thought college at the time was like the most important thing, right? In order to be successful, you had to go to a 4-year college, you know? Let's try some of these hash browns, sugar-free ketchup. So that was one thing I remember. I was going through the motions. I didn't really care. It's like one of those things where it's like I cared enough to stay in college because I thought that's what you had to do, but I didn't care enough to finish college, right? Because I was having so much fun. I felt like I reached the peak. I'm having a great time right now. Why do I want to complete a place that I'm having so much fun and then go into the real world and working a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life, right? That's part of the reason why I kind of delayed my graduation by a lot. Another tip I would give to myself, and this is probably one of the most important ones, is to let my past self know that time is gonna fly by. When we're in our teens, we're in our 20s, right? We think we had all the time in the world. We can do whatever we want. But for me personally, I didn't really take action towards anything, if that makes sense. Try some of this egg. If the yolk pops, I want to pop on top of the hash browns. Oh, there we go. You guys see that? Ooh, yo. So yeah, it's kind of like not really having a goal when I was 20. And I understand when I was 20, just like a lot of you 20-year-olds, we're very directionless. We don't really know where we want to go. There are the few that from like high school right away, they knew they want to be a lawyer or a doctor. But how many people knew what they wanted to do versus the rest of us like picking a major and saying like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, you know? Even looking back now, I know so many people that either majored something in college, didn't really do it outside of college. You guys watched my last video, I talked about that. Or they majored in something in college, did that for a while, and then maybe 10, 15 years later, they're like, I've done it and like, I'm not sure I want to do this for the rest of my life. You guys know what I mean? So they switch. Maybe it's a midlife crisis. I don't know. All right, let's get some of this papaya. Guys, I love fruits. They're so good. Let's get some of this pineapple. And like I said, in our teens, 20s, we feel like we have all the time in the world. There's no pressure to do anything. Versus right now, as I'm older, I feel like I don't have that much time to waste because time's flying by. Next thing you know, you blink, you're gonna be in your 50s, 60s, 70s, you know what I'm saying? So my tip to myself in my 20s is try new things, figure things out. You are gonna fail, right? But that's part of the process. And also kind of just like looking back on it, knowing what I know now, me trying to pursue this career in YouTube. When I was in my 20s, YouTube was first starting. Like, no one really knew you could make a career out of it, you know? So it's kind of hard to predict like, hey, if you stick to this YouTube thing, in 10 years, this could potentially become a thing, you know? All right, guys, let's try some of these plantain chips. I'm excited to try this. Kind of tastes like potato chips. Like I thought they were gonna be a little sweeter like banana chips, but no. This tastes like potato chips, like seriously. So here's a hack for you, right? Instead of eating potato chips that's like really greasy, unhealthy for you, switch over to these plantain chips. I like this a lot. So yeah, one of the things I would tell my 20-year-old self is don't think time is by your side. Time is flying by, you know? But also, even if it wasn't YouTube, whatever it is you want to do, set clear goals. Again, in my 20s, just like many of you 20-year-olds out there, I was very directionless, just want to hang out, not really do much. Took my sweet time because I didn't want to go into the quote-unquote real world, you know? But I felt that like if you were able to set goals, it'd be a lot easier to achieve. Just because if you think about it, right? If you keep driving with no destination, you don't know where you're going. You don't know when to stop. You don't know, you know? You know? Versus if you're planning a trip to like LA, SoCal, okay, it's 600 miles from here. I'm gonna need this much amount of gas. It's kind of like planning ahead. So one of my goals to myself would be trying to plan to make more money, right? I was not very money driven at the time. And we all have this misconception that like, if you're money driven, you're money hungry, that makes you like an evil person, right? Because it's all you care about. But the way I see money now is it buys you freedom, right? It buys you time. You're not stuck working for somebody else. You can do whatever you want. That's what financial freedom or money will give you. So I tell my 20-year-old self, invest sooner. Everyone always says that. Oh, if I invested when I was 18 years old, how much money would I have now? But that doesn't mean you can't start right now if you haven't started already. Also, I don't know. You guys tell me. I think I would get like into real estate. Like I remember in community college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And the guy I was cool with at the time in one of my classes said he was trying to get his real estate license. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't know much about it, but I was like, okay, you know, it's like another major, right? I want to go in business. I want to go into this. I want to do real estate. I was just like, okay, cool. One other thing I would tell myself is to travel more. I did not travel till later in life. And I felt like, I almost I missed out on a lot of opportunities, but I felt like I did, you know? Maybe if I started sooner, I could explore the world more and then have a different view of how other people live. Because I feel like it's one thing to see on TV, but if you actually go out there and like experience for yourself, you know, the food, the culture, the scenery, you know? These chips are really good. Which would go to my next point. In order to pursue your dreams, make money, travel more, you need to have skills. So I tell myself to pick a skill that pays the bills. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, guys, when you have certain skills, like really good skills, and you become like an expert at it, people are willing to pay a lot of money for those skills. For instance, my buddy Gabe, he worked on my website. Go to BRINGTHESHREDS.com for all your fitness needs. He does coding. You guys know coding? He currently works for a top tech company right now, and he's getting paid pretty good money. So yeah, trying to figure out a skill that's very valuable, I think will go a long way. That's what I would tell my 20-year-old self. And another thing I would tell myself is take risk in life. I was so afraid to take risks, right? Whatever it was, super afraid that I was gonna fail. And the reason why I'm trying to say to take risk earlier is because the sooner you fail, the likelihood of you progressing in life will go further. You know what I'm saying? Because you made your mistakes earlier in life. So you kind of learn earlier, you know, if that makes sense. And with taking risks, it's also kind of getting outside your comfort zone. Till this day, I feel like I'm still kind of in my comfort zone a little bit. Like, venture out more, get out of your city. I did that in college, but I came back, you know? Try new things. One of the things that I was very afraid to do for the longest time was YouTube, right? I thought I had to be lucky in order to be successful. I thought I needed the right camera equipment, the right mic. I needed to look a certain way. Oh, they're successful because they're hot. They're successful because they're muscular. All those things kind of went through my head at the time before I even started. Like, oh, that can never be me, right? Self-doubt, you know what I'm saying? So one of the things I did was kind of switch my mindset from self-doubt to more like, if this person can do it, why can't I do it, you know? What makes them so special? And I started having that kind of mindset when I lost a lot of weight, right? Because in my 20s, I didn't understand nutrition. I got my first job, started getting fast food every day. And I remember being overweight, trying to lose it, a lot of trial and error, right, guys? I tried every fad diet there was, tried starving myself, tried eating only brown rice, broccoli, you know? And it wasn't until you kept trying different things and saw what worked, that's when like I started losing weight, right? I learned how to track my calories, macros, how to go to the gym properly, things like that. So I'm taking that same kind of mindset now these days, guys. It didn't happen overnight. I didn't lose weight overnight. Success doesn't come overnight. But the sooner you start, the better, right? I have friends right now. I'm not going to call them out, but one of them wanted to do photography. Told me maybe a year and a half ago now that he committed for a little bit. Then, quote unquote, he took a break. But that break never unbroke. What does it mean? Like, he didn't come back. Like, he said, he told himself he's taking a break, but he never came back to pursuing his passion in photography. And it's unfortunate, right? But that was me as well. I started doing YouTube, didn't know what I was doing, took hours and hours of learning how to edit, upload a video, didn't see the views, got discouraged, self-doubt, not for me, I quit. So I'll tell myself in my 20s, don't expect to be an overnight success. There's no such thing. Like, whatever it is you want to do, you just gotta keep doing it over and over and over. You don't have to burn yourself out, but at least every single day, work on it a little bit by little bit. And then something happens called compound movements. No, compound interest. I think, don't quote me on that. But yeah, those are all the things I would tell my 20-year-old self. Like, try new things. Don't be afraid to fail. Take those risks. Learn how to make money, travel more, develop high-paying skills. Never doubt yourself. Because like I said, every action, there's a reaction. So if you don't do anything, nothing's gonna happen. If you do start doing something, eventually things will happen.